Plus, his body language is not really conducive to make a team, with a winning mentality. And if you see him working on the sideline, he's like, it's just not my kind of cake. I gotta tell you something. It's not. If I had a spectacular lunch and I was dying to get a piece of dessert, and Spalletti was the only thing, on the table. Will never take. I will just skip dessert for that.
What an analogy!
Why are you comparing it to a cake?
Just it's not that.
Welcome, everybody.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Serie A audio experience with IFTV. Antonio and I were both wearing the same exact shirt. It looks like we're recording this the same day, but we're not. This is a special for Juventus. Everybody has been asking us to give our reaction to the match. If you followed us live on Instagram at ItalianFootballTV, you saw we were going nuts in the studio for Juventus against Atletico Madrid. 48 hours, guys. We sat at this table, and with Juventus 2 goals down, and we said that it was going to be a mountain to climb, a deep mountain to climb. There's only one person over here who got the prediction right. That was you.
Honorable mention, though, I said they're going through.
You said they were going through. You said extra time. I said a loss.
Doppio.
He got 3.
Yeah, but I think you
said a loss.
No.
You
I
said
said extra time, and you were going to go through.
overtime.
You said overtime.
I said overtime.
You
Come
said
closer.
overtime out, though.
No, that's
Come
not
closer.
true.
Come closer. No, I don't think he said out. I don't
said
think he said out.
overtime
He said
and
overtime.
then
He got
penalty
3.
kick.
He got 3-0 correct. You're gonna have to tell us how you do that. But first, we are running a
It's
special.
just luck. That's all.
Well, if you do it consistently, we can't call it luck though.
But I am consistent, not him all the time.
I don't know about that. On Instagram Live, everybody was asking us to do a sale on our Calcio shirts. So the entire website for another 24 hours.
Guys, we extended it for the people on the podcast that don't have us on Instagram.
So 15% off ItalianFootballTV.com. If you were waiting to buy something, Varfanculo, Calcio, hats, everything, 15% off, only 48 hours. We're not going to extend it anymore. Antonio, you always ask where the sale is, so now we're giving you the sale.
Well, everybody's asking me. I said, Antonio, when are you going to put to the sale? I said, listen, it's not up to me. Those guys are the ones selling the stuff.
Juventus came back.
Hey,
so
by the way, the stuff is flying off the shelves. So just get it on now because in two days it's going to be over.
No, Antonio, actually, we already sold out. We're ordering more because a lot
So
of
be a
more
little bit
people that
patient.
we
All
ordered.
right, just be a little patient.
By
because
next week, everything's out.
we ordering more merchandise.
Marco,
so.
you didn't say the discount code.
Oh, yeah.
Antonio, do you know what the discount
What
code
is the discount code?
What do you think Juve did? Antonio, go. What do you think it is?
What is that?
What did they do yesterday?
Qualify.
Almost.
Come back.
Come back.
Okay,
Come
okay.
back.
So the
Come-
code
come
is
back.
come back,
Yeah.
okay?
Come back.
And you get 50% off.
15% off your order.
So
Did you put it at the bottom? Is that at
we'll
the
put it
bottom?
at the bottom. We'll put it at the bottom, the top,
Where
the
do you
corner,
want it?
everywhere.
Point and we'll put it wherever you want it.
Put it at the bottom.
Okay.
At the bottom.
Anyway, let's get into this. An incredible match from Juventus, led by Cristiano Ronaldo and Max Allegri's bold tactical choices. The question marks, we had them. We said, is Allegri capable of getting this team back with all the question marks over his future if he's still going to be the coach? And he did it. Somehow, Juventus had the perfect night. And Atletico Madrid, who Michael kept reminding us, in six of their last games, they conceded 0 goals.
Wait, 5. It was a 6 with Juve played.
Okay, 5 games before this, they conceded 0 goals. This 6th game, 3 goals. 3 from Cristiano Ronaldo.
Seemed impossible.
Let's start with you. Why did you think that Juventus was going to win 3-0? Why did you feel so confident when everybody else said that they weren't confident?
Okay, so there were 2 things. One, the game before at Atletico, Juventus they did not dominate. They were not dominated by
Saying Atletico?
Atletico.
Oh, okay.
They were not dominated by Atletico. I mean, a lot of the times they had the ball and they played and they had chances. That was one of the reasons. And the other reason was last year, if you guys remember, Juventus was down 3-0. And he went to Real Madrid, and they were winning 3-0, and all in the last couple of minutes. So when they're back against the wall, the best comes out of them. And I thought that, why not? They could do it again. So that was my reason for the 3-0. Now, you want me to go into the...
Let's wait. Let's get
Okay.
everybody's thoughts,
All
and,
right.
then we'll jump right into it.
Okay.
Antonio.
I listen, you know that I'm not a Juventus lover, but yesterday I became a Juventus fan for the game only. And I got to tell you something. I want to add a few other things. for anybody over there that is depressed or is sick or he's got other problem, he's got family problem, he's got kids that are not doing well or anything, a game like that makes you forget about everything. Me, I didn't even know that I canceled all my work yesterday. I hope nobody's listening to me.
Antonio's unemployed currently.
But anyway, so this is to tell you that soccer is what brings everybody into this kind of a special world that makes you forget all the problems that we have,
That's
whether it's
100%
politics, whether it's health, whether it's finance, whether it's everything.
unity.
So, and
The
for
escape
us,
of reality.
and
Yeah,
for
of
us to
reality.
be here today, to be discussing those things and be talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, which I really don't like him that much, but I have to just tip my hat to him because he did an excellent job yesterday, like the entire team. So I have to call it, fair and
How it
square. I
is.
mean, I just, I'm so happy that you want Juventus win for the sake of it's Italy still
The last Serie A
representing.
team.
Yeah, and and this is just we here again for you guys because we are making sure that you're happy by listening to us, and we are happy to know that you guys are listening. So keep
Well
spreading
said.
the news and keep reading the stuff. And again, I tip my hat to Juventus. I'm not sure about Allegri because Allegri didn't play the game. He just was a tactician, but
He got the tactics right.
he did it right.
Which
so,
we all thought he was going to go with a 3-man back line. He went with the 4.
Right.
But at times, there was a time at 2-0. If you check back, it was almost like a 3-3-4 with how many players he had. And he had Emre Can in the
only
back.
thing that I was a little bit unhappy, I would have loved to see Dybala to play a little bit more because when Dybala came into the game, everything that it was a little bit off and little the fear here and the fear there, Dybala put everybody he calmed everybody down. He took the ball,
you're a big
he
fan
moved
of
the ball
Dybala.
up and down, and he did an excellent job. Those 10-15 minutes, he played like a champion.
No, I think Dybala did good, and I think that this overall was a complete. As a Juve fan who has been bashing the team for the attitude that they've been playing, I think that the theme was which Juventus are you going to see? Is it going to be the Juventus where at the beginning of the season we saw them dip off, but like you said, when their back is against the wall, they somehow find a way, and I think that this is the theme. Allegri, they keep talking about how he doesn't want to play good football, but I think that by attacking, Juventus played beautiful football, and they won 3-0 on top of that. So when they go for it, and when they're not scared, and they're able to take their chances, and the mindset is to keep going. When you get one, you got to get the second. When you get the second, you got to get the third. Against a tightly packed Atletico Madrid, that's not easy to score on. Juventus were constantly breaking them down. And I think that the tactical decision to put Bernardeschi in was so risky and so criticized by even us over here where we wanted to see Dybala. But Bernardeschi, to me, yes, CR7 MVP for the leadership, but Bernardeschi was right there. He was simply phenomenal. I have never seen Bernardeschi play football the way he played football that night. He sacrificed for the team. He dropped back when he needed to. He always sent in a good cross, besides one time, and he constantly was involved. That third goal, I don't know if you realize the hustle that was put onto that one.
Right.
He was playing for 85 minutes, nonstop running.
Right.
The guy that was defending him that he beat to the ball first. Then he beat past him was Correa, who just came on a few minutes before and had fresh legs. This was determination from Bernardeschi, who doesn't really play in the Champions League, who never really had European experience. And my credit goes to Allegri for putting him, and Bernardeschi, who when called upon, stepped up to the table, and it was a beautiful sight to see. He set up the penalty and everything that night.
I thought, to be honest, I was so amazed. We all knew that, like in the past, how Gaetano was saying that when you're down 3-0, when you have the back against the wall, Allegri knows how to play. When he gets criticized, he performs under pressure. When it really matters is the biggest thing. Marco, like you said, well, I don't have to say anything about Cristiano Ronaldo because we know he's a world-class player, he's a champion, he's a winner, so he always comes out in these big games. Bernardeschi, like you said, he played amazing. Doesn't really get a chance, but he shined today. Another person I want to bring out is Spinazzola. I thought he was so good. He played fearless. He played like he's a Champions League player.
I think that was his debut in Champions League.
I think it was too. He was about to get offloaded to Bologna or another club. Then last minute, he decided to stay. And he proved that he's hungry, and I want to see more from him towards the end of the season. Also, I give a lot of credit to Allegri, playing Moise Kean, showing he has confidence in someone that came against Udine and scored 2 goals, and he was so close to scoring too. 19 years old, debuting in the not debuting.
No,
in
it's not his debut.
But almost scoring the winner against Atletico. I give him a lot of credit. and Allegri was just perfect. It's really hard to criticize him. I don't think he got anything wrong in that game.
You hit upon a lot of good points, and
Yeah.
you said one thing. Let's hit on Cristiano Ronaldo first, because constantly you're hear from certain people. You know how you said obviously Cristiano Ronaldo would step up, but I think there was a major theme around this where if Juventus went out, the blame was going on Ronaldo for not performing and only having one goal in the knockout stages. And people say he's old, he's washed up, he's finished. You know, we had Matt here who was going for Atletico Madrid, and he was saying that, you know, before the game that, you know, Ronaldo's done. And I think at 34 years old, this man, I almost feel like he loves to be put in that position where you doubt him just so he could prove you wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, constantly being active and leading the team. And there's just, as a Juve fan, there were these games that, you know, sometimes they go your way and sometimes they don't. And I feel like Ronaldo just helps to tilt it in your favor, not only by what he brings, you know, with his heading ability and his goal scoring ability, but in the confidence. You see him, you know, after Juve scored the first goal that was disallowed, he's screaming at the fans to get them going. And there's just that sense of belief with Ronaldo where he brings that winning mentality even in the darkest of situations. So my credit goes to Ronaldo, and even to have the confidence and the ability to score the penalty kick at the end was incredible. But yes, Spinazzola, key. And another guy who I owe an apology to is Emre Can. Emre Can played a fantastic match of football. Best match that I've seen him play personally. Even in a center back role at times, he was very smart. He's not good with the ball. His ability on the ball is not good. He doesn't bring anything going forward. So he stayed back and he let Cancelo and Spinazzola move up a lot of times. And Emre Can would stay back. And I thought that was a great job by Allegri and Emre Can.
Okay, of course, Juventus could not have done it without Ronaldo, because you need a champion in those situations. The team played great. The tactic was perfect. The players, everybody performed at high level, but you need somebody cool that puts the ball in the net, and that's the hardest thing to do. And Ronaldo was able to do it, and he did it 3 times. So it's unbelievable what he did, and a lot of the credit goes to him. But for me, one of the most valuable players for last night was Allegri. The guy is, first of all, is a gentleman. Second of all, is a balanced coach. Third, I mean, how can you criticize anybody that won 5 championships in a row, 4 Coppa Italia in a row? I mean, the guy is a champion. And I sent him a message after the game last night, you know, to wish him well. And to me, this guy is, for the Italian coaches, is the top. Is Sir Allegri, I called him. And he thanked me, and it must have been like 3 o'clock in the morning. The guy responded by sending me a message at 3 o'clock in the morning. Him and the assistant coach. I mean, they are class act. So to me, Allegri is class. Now, let's break down the game and see what happened yesterday. So everybody said that Juventus was playing the 4-3-3. And I said, somebody asked me that day on Sunday, he said, how would you play? I said, I would play the 4-4-2. So technically, the game started as a 4-3-3, but as soon as the game started, and this was Bernardeschi came over here every time they lost the ball. So actually, it was a 4-4-2. But so Bernardeschi from here, he had the freedom to go anywhere here, to go here, and to go here. And what happened on the goal, is Bernardeschi crossed the ball from here to the second post, and this was the first goal that they scored. So Bernardeschi, great job by Bernardeschi. So what happened is every time they got the ball, Bernardeschi came here, Emre Can stayed back, and Cancelo went up. This was all the time. So Emre Can was covering up for Cancelo. Cancelo went wide and made the cross. On this side, Matuidi stayed back, Spinazzola went up, and he would make the cross on the side. Matuidi stays back. Pjanic played all over the place. You know, he would get the ball from here, and he would be the director. So this was the tactical game that they played. Great job, by Bernardeschi on the last goal. Okay, there was one thing that happened, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but when the game was 2-0, and well, we all thought, okay, if you put in another forward, if you put Dybala, you're going to take out Mandzukic or you're going to take out one of the forwards. What did he do? Allegri took out Spinazzola, and that showed that he really wanted to win this game on the 2-0, and he can go into overtime. He took out Spinazzola, and by taking out Spinazzola, he put Bernardeschi. From here, Bernardeschi ended up here. For a few minutes, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but a few minutes, Bernardeschi was here. After a couple of minutes, what happened is Bernardeschi went here, and Cancelo went on this side. He went, Emre Can went to play fullback, and Dybala came in. Okay, so this was the whole rotation that happened when Dybala came in. And then to show that he really wanted to win this game, he took out Mandzukic and he put out Keane, another forward, which in the next 2 minutes, he was one-on-one with the goalkeeper. So to me, it was a great job by Allegri because it comes out to the mentality. And the mentality was to win this game. And that comes from the coach. Yes, the players have to perform. The players have to activate what he's saying. But the mentality was, hey, we're going to win this game. So
there was a point, too. Bernardeschi was up here. There was 4 forwards. Cancelo was here. Bonucci, Chiellini. Emre Can was around here.
Yeah, Emre Can went to play right full back. So once Emre Can went to play over here and Cancelo went to play over here, Bernardeschi became the left midfielder. Okay? And he became the left midfielder, so that's why he was here. So when he got the ball on the third goal, he was right here. He got the ball, he beat the guy, and he went here, and he went inside the area, and that's where he got tripped. He was pushed from behind, and this is where the penalty happened. So, yes, he came. This is where the way they played once Dybala came in. Dybala was here, and Bernardeschi ended up playing on the side.
There was a point in the match, though, where we were very mad over here. It was 2-0 for Juventus, and he took out Spinazzola for Dybala, and we thought he was going too far up.
And he was messing up the whole tempo for too.
I think even you at a point were
I was surprised. I was surprised because when Spinazzola came out,
Dybala.
Bernardeschi ended up here, and I didn't like this.
And there was confusion.
Bernardeschi had a yellow card, and there was a little bit of confusion because Bernardeschi, he is good, but he's not a left fullback. So, but this was only for a very short time, maybe I think maybe a minute or two, and then all of a sudden he came over here, and Emre Can came like this. So that's how they changed it.
What was the mindset of Allegri in that moment? Because you're up 2-0, but 2-0 sends you to extra time, but you also don't want to risk because if Atletico score 1, then you have to score 4.
Right.
But he was still going for that third.
Right.
And Allegri's always criticized as a very defensive coach.
He probably thought that with Cancelo and Emre Can, he was not going to get hurt here. And also, Griezmann didn't do anything. And Morata was a disaster.
Chiellini and Bonucci really kept a nice.
Atletico had not one single shot on target.
They didn't take a shot in the second half.
They played well.
So I think he read the game very well at that point, and he said, "Hey, this is my chance. I'm still going to be okay with Cancelo here. I'm going to be okay with Emre Can here. Bernardeschi was playing a great game. He's going to be a midfielder. And the reason why Bernardeschi starts over Dybala, so when the game started, you know what it is? It's that Bernardeschi, he will hustle and is very physical and he will go up and down,
Dybala doesn't.
And he plays more defense than Dybala. Yeah. So Bernardeschi, like he said, at the 85th minute, he was here. The guy in the 85th minute, he got the ball here. He beat the guy with speed. He beat the guy with speed. And the 85th, he went inside the area and got the foul. So that's why Bernardeschi started this game rather than Dybala. That's the only difference.
I think the biggest key from both games is the midfield. Juve played horrendous in the first leg, no midfield. Second game, they controlled it. I think it was from the midfield. They played good. Emre Can played good. The first leg, invisible. Second leg, they were just a powerhouse. It's so great to see. I think that was the biggest
I think the speed is the key. Like Gaetano said, the speed was the key.
Of who?
The first leg, Juventus looked like a looked like I don't know, guessing around or just waiting for something to happen.
And it could have been worse than 2-0.
Yeah, so Szczesny's made a couple of very excellent saves. But the game, I mean, the key of this game was the speed. Juventus said that we were supposed to be afraid of the speed of Atletico, especially Griezmann and Morata. They attacked them exactly on the same fear that we're supposed to have of Atletico, and they went into the speed that they've really got them.
Also, one other thing. The game plan of Juventus was very much so with Spinazzola and Cancelo sending the balls into the box where 2 goals came from, and even a third which didn't count, which we'll talk about. What do you think about that idea from Allegri, where you would think Atletico loved to have the ball sent in? They could just head it out, clear it out all day long, instead of going directly through the midfield, through the center.
Well, I think the idea was to go from the outside, where you got the speed with Cancelo,
Spinazzola.
And Spinazzola. You got the speed. You send them up. In fact, they were playing right wing and left wing, when they were inside. And Matuidi was covering on one side and Emre Can was covering. So they had that speed. In the first half, the crosses from Cancelo were not that good, but in the second half, he made some nice crosses. That's where
he released it quickly, the ball. He was taking too long on
right,
the ball.
that's where the second goal came in. So that's how they were going to beat them. It probably thought that going through the middle was going to be too tough, So
they can stay compact.
Yeah. So go spread them out, go wide. In fact, if you see Cancelo, if you look at it, he's always alone.
Yeah.
He always had the ball.
He gets the ball and is always alone.
The thing, Allegri definitely
hogs
played
that
that
line.
because we kept saying
So-
why they keep sending. They threw, they had 100 crosses and they're like Allegri must be doing something because they were not playing centrally at all. They were all going down the middle. They're
Right.
always passing right or left wing.
Right.
And
going for
Mandzukic
that.
was
But
off.
when
if there's one player that wasn't on, it was
Yeah.
Mandzukic,
Mandzukic.
too.
I think I heard you say it and somebody else say it. Okay, they parked the bus in
They brought
there.
the bus from the pitch, from
Right,
the outside to inside the field.
So
That's what they
how are
did.
you going to go through the you're going to go through the wings. When somebody, they go all in the middle and
They
then
want you to go there.
Go aerial.
then you go outside because then they got to come and pick you up. And once they come and pick you up, they open up.
Exactly.
That's a good point. No, and I think that let's hit on the controversial moments before we keep going, because I know that there's a bunch, and I saw them in the comment section all day long. The penalty for Juventus, which you do see Bernardeschi trips himself, but the thing that I didn't see in live time, or I didn't even see until later on in the day, I was watching highlights all night. There was a push from Correa on the back of Bernardeschi. Bernardeschi was going at such a speed that any kind of push threw him completely off and he tripped over himself. To me, it was a clear penalty. I know anyone could say we're biased to it.
It was from the back, a shove. I don't think it's not like you can
hand-
fight it. It wasn't a shove.
Hand extended like this. You have to
Yeah.
find the right replay. They had a replay from the side where you could see that he really pushed. Because if you see from the back, you just see him clip his own legs, but he was pushed to
He
clip
was
his own
clearly
leg.
behind him. He lost him, and he just shoved
Do we
him.
agree?
I do.
Yeah.
But I wanna think-
I saw it. I saw it from different angles, and the guy did push him. So
Certain
it's-
angles you could see that it wasn't, but then you see the push.
You know what? If you don't give a penalty like that, then you get the game all screwed up.
Yeah.
So I want to add a few things that your father said before. During this game here, the fact that you had Chiellini from the very first few minutes scoring the goal that was taken away inside of the box. Allegri wanted the wing to put the ball inside, and he wanted the towers of Juventus to be right there in the middle. Cristiano Ronaldo, Chiellini, Bonucci, all of them that were inside. The little guys were just backing up the midfield. Were just backing off. But I saw Chiellini on the first 2-3 minutes. He was into the box.
He even had
and it was
another
not by
chance,
chance. And it was not by chance. So Chiellini and all the big guys that they were capable to hit the ball or to head the ball into the net were there from the first minute. So the game plan was get them on the wings, cross the ball, and take the chance. Sure enough, Ronaldo scored a couple goals.
The first goal, I didn't think. I saw another replay. To me, it looked clear that Ronaldo got to the ball first, but we know that referees are often protected a lot
The
in modern
goalkeepers-
football.
The goalkeeper, I mean, it was a 50-50 call. So 90% of the time, you have to give it the benefits of the doubt that the goalkeeper had the ball and was fouled. So I think it was a good
you have any
call.
thoughts?
It was a good call.
on the first goal.
No,
it
it
didn't
didn't count.
count.
Oh, the one that didn't
It was a
count.
good
3
call.
minutes in.
Yeah, that was a questionable call.
I thought it was
That
so
they didn't
soft.
go
I thought
check.
it was very soft, but the
It was not
goalkeeper so
100%. When in
protected.
doubt, don't give it.
So-
We keep saying the same
Fair
thing.
enough.
When in doubt, don't give it.
Fair
was the
enough.
first,
To,
like,
to me, he
5
got the
minutes,
ball.
too.
and
Yeah,
then
I
he
think
had
he got on the ball.
and then the follow through. hit him.
And then, maybe they follow through and he stayed there. And maybe the goalkeeper can say, well, I couldn't get up because he was on top of me. So I think that's what happened.
There was another last thing that everyone I saw commenting about was Chiellini. There was a moment where there was a pass back to Szczesny and Chiellini bodied, was it Correa Morata, I think, where they started fighting. I mean, Chiellini, we know Chiellini, he's one of the strongest guys, but when he gets hit, the guy falls. The guy falls like a log. It's not nice to see sometimes. He is a warrior. He goes hard into challenges. But I think that sometimes when he feels like he's going to get wrongly done, he throws himself, and it's not a nice sight to see. And you could definitely see that he was exaggerating that. And I think that between Morata and Chiellini, they were both exaggerating so much.
The whole night
they were
really
crying to
going
the
on each other's
referee,
nerves,
both of
too.
them.
Yeah.
One was getting touched. The guy grabs his eyeball, like, all right, relax.
Easy.
But anyway, I didn't think that it was a bad call. But again, you can see this is biased. Allegri. We were talking about that his job was at risk. There was talks about Zidane, Conte, Deschamps. Does Allegri save his job after what he did today? One of the best comebacks in Juventus history.
I don't think so.
100%.
I don't think
He
so.
proved himself.
This got nothing to do with his job. His job is just, you're going to see the full season. You're going to see what Juventus' future is moving forward. I don't think this has nothing to do with whether they're going to be signed yes or
If they
not.
went out yesterday,
Yes.
it would have determined a lot.
Actually, if anything, this will be the time for him, regardless, to make the decision. I'm talking about Allegri, to move on, to move over
After the
somewhere else.
season.
Oh, yeah.
What do you
Winning
think?
or losing.
Yeah, he's probably. I mean, if I was Juventus and if I was Agnelli, I would keep him. I would definitely keep him. But I think after this year, it's probably, no matter what happens, it's probably gonna go.
I think that one of the good lessons is, and this is what we said. We said Allegri. I felt like the team did plateau a little bit under him and not playing good, and I think it was clearly seen. But I said the way that you make up for somebody who you criticize, if you prove it with results, which he got the results, that's all the proof that you really need at the end of the day. And I accept it. Was wrong. Didn't think Juventus were going to come back. You proved the results, and that's how it is in life. So all my respect to him, and I do think that he reads the game really well when they're in that situation. He just seems to have that knack. And last thing before we get questions, because I want to make it heavy on questions, because I know we have a lot, was Atletico Madrid. In the first game, I gave Atletico so much credit, so much respect. I gave Simeone a lot of respect for the way that they played. They dominated Juve. They had attacking football. They defended well. They had many, many, many chances to score. But this game was the complete opposite. All the beautiful that they say from Atletico Madrid, I saw zero of that. Was this more of Atletico screwing up or Juventus playing
Marco,
well?
I want to stop you there because I do feel like how you said we saw a completely different Atletico. I just feel like they were overpowered by Juventus they played a 10 out of 10, a team that they should be playing every game with a team they have. We saw them just overpower Atletico and they just couldn't do something. The first leg, Atletico looked great because Juve couldn't string two passes together. So that's what I feel like the two biggest things is.
I'll tell you what I think. The first game, Juventus played with the Atletico mentality when they came to Torino, and vice versa. Because I'll tell you what, Juventus had nothing to lose on the second game. They had to go for the full power. If the score in the first leg would have been 1-0 Atletico, Juventus will have a total different setup over there. You never will have three defenders. You will probably have a 4-3-2-1.
Would have been more conservative.
It will be a little bit more conservative. So in a game like that, you have to just go all the way. Just go for it.
So you think that's set up for that?
Absolutely. You're losing to nothing. You have to just go all the way, and then try to make up for your two games that you to
Two
do.
goals that you conceded.
What do you think?
Oh.
Yeah, I think that Atletico came to Torino not to get any goals, and the mentality was different. They just came to defend, make two walls in front of the goalkeeper, and try not to get a goal, and he screwed up big time. But what I would like to say, and because we always listen to the commentators, and especially here in United States, and the only commentators, they always say, they only know one word in Italian, and it's catenaccio. And I wish that one of these days they would stop saying that, and they would start giving some credit to the Italian team, especially a team like Juventus, and say, hey, these guys, they came in to play, and once in a while, say Catenaccio to the teams like Atletico, okay, and the other teams. They go to Italy and they don't get out of their own area.
No, I agree with that 100% because, and that's why I brought it up, is that, I feel like sometimes the other teams are on a pedestal because maybe what Italian teams always did in the past is not exactly what they did in the future. Same thing. I watched Bayern versus Liverpool, the first leg. Bayern looked like they invented Catenaccio. And I said it here. They were defending their lives off against Liverpool. And this is supposed to be Bayern, the beautiful football, this and that, and this and that.
A bunch of baloney.
All credit to you, but I'm just saying, you got to call it the way you see it. Roma, yes, Roma were defending against Porto in the second leg, right? Fair enough. But like he said, if you see one side, you also got to see the other. And the other thing that I saw was, I saw a clip go around. It wasn't the full video, but I saw a clip where they said that this was, without Juventus, without Ronaldo, this Juventus would never go through. And that this was only thanks to Ronaldo. And while Ronaldo, yes, played a key moment, let's not forget that Juventus went to 2 Champions League finals without Cristiano Ronaldo.
Right.
And Ronaldo's brought in to make the difference. And Bernardeschi was just as good as Ronaldo on that night, and Allegri. So I feel like sometimes there's just this one-way thinking.
Those are all the Italian football haters. But let me tell you guys something. For the guys that you think that you do understand the Catenaccio, you do not start a game playing Catenaccio with the 3 defenders. When you have a Catenaccio, you put at least a minimum 4 and then 5 and 1 right in front. Almost nobody on the front. So when you're starting a game with 3 defenders, there is no such a thing as Catenaccio. Okay?
Atletico tried to put 13 guys behind the ball.
All right, so get your number all together.
Good job.
And if you want to listen to commentators, listen to Pirlo. He's a great commentator.
Del Piero
Costa
was
Curta is a
good.
great commentator. Del Piero is a good one. There's a lot of them, and those are all people that they played in the game, and those are champions. Not all of those charlatani that we say in Italy that after the game they come and they spew a bunch of garbage into the screen of the TV. So,
I like hearing from the English guys that were really great players like Rio Ferdinand. Rio Ferdinand always brings a great element to the game. I watch his comments, and he doesn't have that normal mentality that sometimes you see in like the American English media. And I really like what Rio Ferdinand talks about. And there's a few others. I can't remember off the top of my head who else does it. But anyway, let's go on to comments.
Let me finish one more thing.
Yeah.
And the only one that I forgot to add was, Vieri. So, Bobo. I don't understand why you still are being Bobo. Why don't you come over here and do the podcast with us? We are the real thing.
It's too cold in New
We
York.
are the real
Yeah,
thing,
it's too cold
Bobo.
for
Being,
them,
they don't know what the hell are they doing over there. And 90% of the time, they don't even understand what they're talking about it. So you want to join a nice conversation. Go with Pirlo. Go with other people that they know us. All right? You're invited over here, by the way. Okay, Bobo? We're still waiting for you.
Most of them, they took Atletico. I think Ray Hudson took Juventus.
Ray Hudson's great.
You
Ray
see?
Hudson's
I want to
great
throw
too.
one last comment before we move on to comments. I just want to say for Simeone, I thought he was great post-match. He said Juve deserved it. He didn't make up any excuses because when Juve knocked out Pochettino's Tottenham last season, he was full of excuses, and that got me kind of annoyed. But Simeone said it like a gentleman. He said, Juve played better. There's no shame to lose against a Juventus like that. And he kept it short. He didn't make up any excuses like that. So.
To be honest, there was nothing you could say.
No,
There was like nothing.
No, but I'm saying there's always that coach that always says something.
There was not even a glimmer of hope.
I'm just saying.
Simeone this time he didn't do this.
Ronaldo did it.
Ronaldo did it doing it. So
I give him respect though for being
He was
honest.
not pretty. Was not pretty. So
Let's go. Maria asks, do you think Bernardeschi's performance has earned him a spot in the starting 11 over Dybala? We got a lot of questions, so let's hit them quick.
tough.
no.
Definitely, probably not, but definitely more playing time.
I think it would depend on the opponent too, because Dybala against a physical Atletico is always a little bit harder to start the match, where Bernardeschi brings more of a physical element.
So Bernardeschi got his job on the Champions League. He's going to be the starter for the Champions League. Dybala got a job in the Campionato. He's going to start maybe every game.
I think they can play together, Gaetano. They can.
In the
yeah,
Campionato.
why not play together?
I will take either Emre Can a little bit out. I will take even the other kid, Matuidi, slightly. No, let him share the time, and I will actually start.
4-2-3.
Well, with 18 points, you don't need the team that played
In
on
Champions League.
No, they're doing
the team that
maintenance
played
technically.
on against Atletico. They're gonna.
But Gaetano,
they're gonna rest.
technically speaking, Bernardeschi belongs it's like a starter, whether you are playing on the Campionato or whether
In
you are...
the Champions League, he's not going to start for the Campionato.
Because the league is.
No, we are saying now because the Campionato is already,
but
it's
that.
won already.
He's
But
saying
if
before that.
if you were to start a formation right now, would you consider Bernardeschi to be a bench player or
But right
just a
now
starter?
they're 18 points ahead. You
All
don't
right.
you need Dybala to play. So let
Okay,
him play.
I'll give you that.
Matthew Montesano says, is Allegri the most tactically flexible manager in world football? He shows it time and time again, reinventing this Juventus side during tough times. Start with you.
Yeah, definitely. I think that Allegri is, if you put him in Italy right now, he's the best coach in Italy without a doubt. And if you put him in Europe and in the world, there's probably one or two coaches that are better than him. And then, but he's one of the top 2-3 coaches in the world
Are you saying in form currently or in general?
currently.
Currently, okay, in form. Yeah, I
No,
can't-
dude, hit his comment.
Yeah,
Is
that's-
Allegri the most
That's what I
tactically
was going
flexible?
with. Yeah, Allegri changes based on what the game is, and he wasn't scared to. He changed the formation a bunch of times. He brought in some players. He changed the formation again, and he wasn't scared to go for the win rather than wait for extra time when it was 2-2.
Isn't this a good representation to show that when Juventus attack, they could take on almost any team, even
Yeah,
the hardest of
100%.
defenses? So
100%.
maybe that could be the mentality a little bit more of a better coach. But then again, he's the coach of Juventus and not
For me, it's not the top 10. I would say it's the top 10, but not at the top 3. No.
Okay, that's
How much better is Giorgio Chiellini than Sergio Ramos? New York Juve.
I mean, Ramos this season, Real Madrid in general have been playing good, so I don't think you can.
I think Ramos, I give Ramos a lot of respect. I like him as a center back a lot. And I think that him scoring so much almost overshadows how good he is as a defender. But if you made me choose one, I would definitely choose Chiellini just because I like the more raw aspect. But Ramos is top.
I wish I had Sergio Ramos on AC Milan. Sergio Ramos to me
Him
is
and
one of the
Romagnoli.
top 2 players.
He
in
might
the
be
world.
leaving Real Madrid.
Top 2 players in the world for his position.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
No, he asked how much better is Chiellini than Ramos?
No,
Do you
not
agree
much.
he's better
Not
or
at
he's
all.
not
Not at
better?
all. I think Sergio Ramos is
no,
better
I
than Chiellini.
think that
Fair enough.
they are 2 of the top center back in the world. I mean, I am good with Chiellini being there. I have no problem. If you tell me choose Sergio Ramos or Chiellini, I'll take Chiellini.
Bentley says, who do you think was a standout performer other than Ronaldo? I'll say Bernardeschi.
Bernardeschi and Spinazzola.
Yeah, definitely.
Thoughts on Dybala not starting? We kind of hit that with Rossi. Anthony asks, should Juve continue to play Spinazzola as a wing back? He certainly brought more dynamicism on the left wing, especially in terms of producing more crosses.
100%.
Especially with the rumors of Juve trying to get Marcelo for 45 million. But what do you need Marcelo? You got this guy, Spinazzola.
Absolutely. That guy's a
Who's so
washed out.
good.
He's washed out. Marcello is washed out.
Don't
He's
spend
already-
45 million on a left back. You got 2 good left backs and Alexander and Spinazzola. Spend it in another place, inside the center back or inside the midfield.
Yeah, I agree. Spinazzola is good.
Plus,
The guy did a very good job.
Marcello
But
is-
I liked him when he was with Atalanta.
Yeah.
Right. I liked him there. I saw him play in the European League. I think we spoke about it.
Yeah, we did.
I said, man, this guy is good.
And he's physical.
He is.
He's not scared to beat his man.
he came off
This
an
is his
injury,
first
too,
game.
though,
in
Takes the
Champions
guys
League.
one-on-one.
He takes his man on. Kevin asks, is Allegri still the man of the job for Juventus, or was this Ronaldo just saving him?
I will say there is a good 50-50 over there.
I feel like
Good.
I've seen a lot of comments.
Explain.
I'll tell you the reasons why. I mean, you can put as many formation as you want. At the end of the day, those are the people that they're running into the field, that they're hitting the grass with their cleats. Those are the players. And Ronaldo is the guy that he had to elevate himself to hit a ball with the head, just to create space for himself, just be found. He had to be ready to hit at the right time. And
I think a lot of Juve fans feel that way.
I kind of disagree with you, Antonio, because Ronaldo wasn't making that midfield great. He wasn't having Atletico not come back in the opposite half. I feel like Allegri almost isn't credited enough, almost overshadowed by Ronaldo's 3 goals. Juve as a whole, I thought they played fantastic. They didn't let Atletico move, and that it's not all on
The thing
Ronaldo,
is,
even
guys,
though he did score.
we have to be fair, though.
Will never have dropped that far back if they didn't knew that Ronaldo was that kind
That's
of
true,
threat for
too.
them. So-
But
That's true.
Juve's midfield was so good.
But look, the thing that I don't like is when Juventus lose, the blame is on Allegri. When Juventus win,
Yeah.
the credit is
No,
to
exactly.
Ronaldo.
That's why it's
you got
it's
you got to
unfair
have balance. Yes, maybe it is 50-50, but then when they lose,
50-50.
it is 50-50.
50-50.
What do you think? Is he still the man for the job?
No, he's still the man for the job, and it was a total teamwork between the coaches and the team. They all work together, and I don't think this game could have won without Allegri, and I don't think you could have won without Ronaldo. So you needed both.
So it's a 50-50.
That's true. No, you're right.
It's a 50-50.
Okay, Danny says, who do you think this Juve side is going? Do you think this Juve side is going to make it to the final and potentially win the Champions League? I think before we hit that question, let's do the predictions. Friday's going to be the draw. We've got Manchester City, Tottenham, Ajax, Manchester United, Barcelona, Liverpool, and Porto as the potential opponents for Juventus.
Let's take a guess around the table. Who do you think a Juve is going to get drawn with?
Okay, if we have the judge by yesterday performance by Juventus, except for Barcelona, all the rest of the teams they're very beatable. All of them, except for Barcelona, all of them they're beatable.
Anto, take a guess though. Who do you think is going to get drawn? Who's Juve? gonna get
Listen,
drawn
I
with?
would prefer to see Barcelona now, so you get them out of the way and then you cruise through the final.
And you play two legs.
You play two legs.
I would much rather play Barcelona over
Absolutely.
two legs than play them in a
Listen,
final.
on
because
Barcelona,
they're much better in a final.
Let me tell you something. Barcelona is similar to Atletico in a way that if you attack them the same way Juventus attacked Atletico, they choke. Barcelona defense is not as good as you think.
I think that Barcelona is definitely the best team, and you would want to avoid them. And I think Juventus would have the hardest time against Barcelona. But again, when you're balancing, I mean, if you told me to take Porto, I would take Porto and then play Barcelona in the next round. But I'm just saying that playing Barcelona, this is not a Champions League where you saw such a tipping point at the top where one team is so much better than the rest. I think that between Barcelona, Juventus, Manchester City, and Liverpool, I think those are the favorites, and all of them have an opportunity to win the Champions League.
I think Barcelona is one of the most talented team over there. I mean, if you eat now Barcelona, you just take them out of their misery. That's it. You win the championship.
What do you think?
I think if you could wait and play Man City or Liverpool later on, because right now they're 1 point, I guess, from each other. So every game that they play right now, they're going to play all out.
Oh, that's a good idea. I didn't think
If
about
the later on that they play, the better it will be. So if you could avoid the North Europe for now, I think it would be better. But I think. I have a feeling it's going to be one of the English teams.
But let's not forget Ajax. Everybody is discounting this Ajax.
Yeah.
They're very young. They're flying under
they're
the
tough.
radar. They're flying under the radar. Those guys, they really mean business. At any time, I mean, if you're not paying attention to the game, you really you don't put enough weight on the game, and you just don't take the game seriously enough. Those are the guys that can do a lot of damage.
I think it's going to be one of the English team, and if it should be Tottenham, this is for Steve Nash. Steve, would like to have you on our podcast, or at least, make some comments, Juventus, Tottenham, okay? Even if you have to do it by Skype.
I think Juve is going to draw with Manchester United.
Yeah,
And it's
I
gonna,
feel that one too.
And I don't know. I have a strong feeling it's going to
Manchester
happen.
United has got nothing.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Nah.
Manchester United's a team right now that they've always been a team that they never give up. Look at how they came back there. They came back against Juventus. They're a team that doesn't give up. Maybe quality-wise, the teams are
They
not
don't have it.
as good, but those guys will not give up.
They don't have it. Manchester United doesn't have it. I think Liverpool and
Look
Barcelona
what they
and
did against the
Liverpool.
PSG.
PSG, let me tell you something about PSG. PSG is been overvalued by far. I mean, they got this Mbappe, they got this
Neymar.
I mean, with Verratti, with all of those superstars. There are too many superstars over there, and they have a trouble sharing the top of the stage.
There are a lot of superstars in Barcelona. There are a lot of superstars in Real Madrid. There are
No,
superstars.
not quite true.
What do
Over
you
there
mean?
in Barcelona, you have Messi and you have,
But they have more of a respect over there. Like at PSG, you see sometimes they fight over the ball.
They're fighting over the
You
ball.
know?
Barcelona, they know to share the ball. They know to play the game. Those guys, they know to play the game.
I think PSG is just, they're not winners. They don't have the winning mentality
have it.
or the
They
history
don't
behind
have it.
them.
You
And
can't buy a winning mentality.
I told you this the other day. I was listening to this French journalist. He was speaking about PSG, and he was saying that the owners over there, that PSG doesn't have a rich history. but they do have some history. And he says that the new owners try to get rid of all the history that PSG ever had. They don't invite Ronaldinho. They don't invite any of their old players to the stadium. And that kind of thing matters when building a historic team. Tell the story that you said when I told you this. Can you say it? Giovanni?
Yeah, sure.
You can say it?
There was a game that was played a few years ago between the NYFC with all NYCFC with all the superstars, with Pirlo and Lampard, Villa. And they played a Champions League game against CONCACAF. It's the same thing as the Champions League for United States against the New York Cosmos. And Sir Ferguson was in town, and they asked Sir Ferguson, what do you think, the Cosmos against NYCFC? He goes, you know something? The Cosmos are going to win. I goes, why? He goes, history. They have a history behind them. And everybody was thinking he was crazy. The Cosmos beat NYCFC.
And
I think it was 2 years in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right.
But this was the first game.
And who was the coach?
Giovanni Savarese.
Giovanni, if you're watching the podcast, we love you. We love you. And we keep talking about you. I know the season didn't start on the right foot, but like last year, you're going to do just as well or even better. I'm expecting you to win the championship. So
we agree. Right? We're following Gio. No,
Okay.
Gio. And just to give some context,
Gio, you're coming to do podcast with us when you're in Brooklyn.
Giovanni Savarese is the coach of the Portland Timbers, like we've said in the past. And just to give a little bit more context, NYCFC played in the MLS, and the New York Cosmos were playing in a lower division, USL, was it?
Yeah. NASL.
NASL, which is seen as second tier, definitely second tier. So, and they didn't spend much less money. And even with that, so I think I agree with Sir Alex Ferguson 100%. Anyway, to answer Danny's question, do you think that this Juventus can make the final and win it?
Yeah.
They have a good chance. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think after you have a match, one last thing, not to rant, but what everybody gets mad when you play a tough opponent, when you get drawn with a tough opponent, like Juventus fans did with Atletico. But the key is when you do get drawn with a tough opponent, and Atletico was the toughest opponent you could have gotten, if you overcome that, and especially if you overcome it in the way Juventus did, that is a huge relief off your back where you tell yourselves, this could be our year. We can overcome anything. Even if we're down in a match, we were down before. We could come back. This was a hard team. We could play the hard teams. So I think that's one important reason. This guy, Frank Water, says, Antonio, how are you feeling? No clue what he means by that, but interpret how you feel.
This is Italy. We're talking about Italy against the rest of the world. So I feel good. So
You got a haircut, looking good.
I got an
You're
haircut.
playing tennis?
I'm playing tennis tonight. Look at my color. They're not black and white, but it's still AC Milan. But hey, nevertheless, Juventus is an Italian team. We're going for Juventus, and I hate to tell you that when Italy plays on the world stage, we have to go for Italy. So. All right.
We got a good question from Steve Dovi. He says, did Allegri hear and respond to the criticism of his defensive style with the attacking formation / play he went against Atletico? And look how dangerous Juve looked playing that way. So I think he's saying, did Allegri get mad that everyone was saying he's defensive, or was just this Allegri being Allegri?
No. This was the perfect tactic for this game. I mean, every game is different. And this is what he needed on this game. He's a good tactical coach. And I think he realized, hey, this is what I need. This is what I have to do. And that's what he did.
But not that he changed because people were criticizing him.
No, absolutely
Criticism
not.
always comes in the game, whether or not he knew he was down 2 goals. He had to adjust, and that's it.
Good. We only got a few more. Brian Melendez, you're going to like this question, Antonio. He says, what do you think Spalletti needs to do to keep his job at Inter? And does he have a chance, or is he a dead man walking?
I think it's the last. I think it's more of a dead man walking. I think they're buying time. Inter is buying time. They know that there is no chemistry over there on the locker room. And I think part of the problem is Spalletti, that is not capable to keep the group together. Plus, his body language is not really conducive to make a team, with a winning mentality. And, if you see him walking on the sideline, he's like, it's just not my kind of cake. I gotta tell you something. It's not. If I had a spectacular lunch and I was dying to get a piece of dessert, and Spalletti was the only thing, on the table, will never take. I will just skip dessert for that.
What an analogy!
Why are you comparing him to a cake?
It's not that.
Do you think Champions League saves his job? Does him qualifying for a Champions League save his job or no?
No, the guy's gone. The guy's
Either way?
gone. He's gone.
Even if he makes fourth
do you
place.
It doesn't matter. He's gone.
Yeah, I think he's gone.
I think you might be right too.
There were too many things that happened
last
this
year,
year.
Champions League saved.
It
his
depends the
There's
coaches.
too many things with
Too many
Icardi that it's just a
He's
mess.
responsible. He's
That,
part,
that,
he's partly
that
blamed.
team is a mess.
This guy's name is Moist Keen.
Oh, nice.
He says, in the Champions League, do you think Juventus will continue to play beautiful attacking football, or will they revert to conceding awful play that's often resorted to?
I think they're gonna adjust to the opponent all the time, and then when the situation calls for attacking, they're gonna attack. When the situation calls for defense, they're gonna do the catenaccio. Okay, so Juventus is like an hybrid team. So when the weather is raining outside, they open the umbrella, but when it's shining, they they run.
The
under
analogies
sun.
today are unbelievable.
Okay.
Looking good.
Yo, they're good.
I think in Serie A, they're still looking at
He said Champions League. He said Champions League.
In Champions League, when it matters, they're going to come through. I don't think they're going to play spectacular when it's 0-0 the first leg, to be honest.
I think this game did a lot for them, for their confidence, and they know now they believe in themselves more than ever because everybody was skeptical about this game. So, yeah, he might be a little bit more offensive than he was before. He's not going to be afraid, I think, to put, if he takes out a defender, to put somebody in the midfield or up front.
More confidence.
Yeah, more confidence.
I think, again, another great reason to always know that, you're never out. Fino alla fine, as they say, until the end. They always stop fighting. And don't be too quick to judge. I feel like it's a good life lesson because even us sometimes, we jump the gun. So maybe, Antonio, like this, maybe your love for Spalletti will change one day.
No. Spalletti's a great person. Don't get me wrong. For all the
I
Inter
should have brought it up.
For all the Inter fan, I got no problem with Spalletti. I just don't like his coaching attitude. Like
Fair
I
enough.
have nothing against anything and anybody. The only thing that I have something against, it's the weather. Sometimes when when it rains, and we're supposed to play soccer, and the rain that the games gets called out. Other than that, I have no problem with anything and anybody.
Good.
Okay.
Very good. Last thing, congrats to Peter. Peter's in Italy with his
yeah.
team. They
Got his
won.
first
wow.
win.
The New York team,
Great.
they got a great win. So congrats to Peter. I know we're talking to him over the
Very
phone
good.
message.
Great
Hey, guys,
job.
If you're going to the derby, Milan versus Inter, contact Peter. We'll actually put his Instagram over here. DM him so you guys can meet up at the game. A lot of people
are
been
asking us. Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be
we'll do
awesome.
that.
How are you gonna contact Peter?
We put his
We'll
Instagram.
put his
Oh, you're gonna put
and
his.
then
I
message
I don't know social media, so you guys are gonna explain
Yeah,
everything.
it's all good. It's all
By the
good.
way, do we still have a sale? Yes.
Yeah,
Until
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
up?
15%
15% off.
yeah,
and
yeah.
15%.
what's the word over there? What's the
Come on, remember.
come back?
Yeah, there we go. Last thing. Wait. Let's predict the derby real quick. Let's just give our initial. I say a tie.
I don't know. I didn't think about it.
Go.
I'm gonna go with. I think Inter's gonna win 1-0.
Who's playing home?
Milan.
Inter.
Milan.
Oh, Milan.
Milan
playing home.
It's Milan Inter.
Yeah. That's why Peter said he wasn't gonna wear an Inter jersey.
Oh man, Inter is in trouble. Inter is in big trouble.
What does that mean?
Go
All
ahead.
right, go first. Go first.
I mean, hey, you know me. I'm gonna play.
Mourinho mind games.
Well, at this time, I'm gonna go all the way. That's us. Pete, that's it.
Anto,
over.
do this, because it's black.
It's over,
and
Pete.
Black and red.
You set him up for that.
Is this right? Okay.
He's gonna do it. So
Yeah.
win.
Oh yeah,
Milan
we're
win.
winning.
Yeah, I don't have a feeling for this game. I don't know.
Tie.
Tie. He's got a tie. Your father's got a tie. So call it a tie.
Tie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was leaning towards AC Milan, but probably a tie.
Me too. I was leaning towards Milan.
Lautaro, watch,
You said
watch
Inter.
Lautaro win it.
Guys,
By the way, one more thing.
Yeah.
How are we doing with all the Instagram? We're
doing good.
We lost back and all. Are we regaining all of our viewers? Do they know that our new site is Italian Football TV?
Yep.
Spell
Yeah,
it all. Not
we'll spell it all.
IFTV,
Yeah,
right?
it's good,
And then
it's good.
do they have on the bottom of
it's
the
on
screen?
the bottom,
Yeah,
the
it's
top, the
Okay,
corner,
guys,
all
keep
around.
watching, keep spreading the news. We're here for to have some good time. I have a tennis game. I'm going to be facing an Inter guy tonight.
Oh,
Okay?
look, this is the derby.
So it's the derby.
Oh,
So this
take
is
a
the
video.
preview. This is the preview of what is going to happen Sunday. And guess what? I'm going to win.
Can you do us a favor? While we're editing this,
Yeah.
text us who wins.
I'm going to
and
be
we'll
playing
put it on here.
Alessia's father. You remember she was
Yeah, yeah,
Instagramming
yeah.
with us?
Antonio,
Yeah,
if you could take a
Alessia,
selfie.
if you're watching, just tell your father. Just,
Antonio, if you could take a selfie of you two after the match,
I'll
and
do
then
it.
just send it to us.
I'll do
You're
it.
gonna
I'll do it.
Okay,
Yeah,
if you do,
definitely.
We'll do it.
All right.
Guys, anyway, as always, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Ciao, ragazzi.
Ciao, guys.